Hello everyone, and welcome to a playthrough of a Tide of Iron scenario I'm in the process of designing called Against All Odds. I've already recorded a somewhat lengthier video introducing the scenario, so if you're interested in more details, you can watch that one. This is actually going to be a playthrough, and I'll be doing this playthrough round by round so as to not end up with a scenario that's too long. In this particular scenario, the American Rangers are supposed to capture the objective over here at the far end of the map, which is located on Hill 400 during the Battle of Hurricane Forest. The Germans start with initiative, and they have the massive confusion op card in play, which means that they can't combine fire. The Germans were, in fact, surprised by the ferocity of the attack, but I have to admit it's also for scenario balancing to put that card in. As for the decks the Germans have at their disposal, it's the the Watchdog Leadership deck from the Normandy expansion and the Artillery 2 deck, and they've drawn two starting cards. Hidden Minefield, which allows them to place a minefield token in a hex that doesn't contain enemy units, but it's a command phase card, so it would have to be bought later when they actually have command available. And they've also drawn a card from the Artillery deck, which is Offensive Artillery. Well, we'll see when that comes up. An important special rule in this scenario is that artillery attack cards for both sides hit on a 4+ rather than the regular 5+. The Americans also have three op cards in play. First of all, Elite Formations, the officially revised version of it, meaning that a squad gets +2 cover, +1 cover and +1 firepower, regardless of the number of figures in it. They also have the No Surrender op card, which means that their squads don't surrender because of suppressive fire. So the best result you can achieve with suppressive fire is what's it called? It's not pinned, it's disrupted. So that's the maximum result you can get. You can't actually rout them. For that, you will need normal fire to destroy them. And they have the Double Time op card, allowing any of their squads to move at +2 if they're activated with an advance action. They have the Assaulter Leadership deck from the Normandy expansion as well, and the Artillery 2 deck. And the two cards they've drawn is Force March, which can be bought during the action phase, but they don't have any command yet, so they might be able to buy it during the action phase of round 2, which will give them an extra 2 movement points, so that will make them lightning fast if they do an advanced action. But of course, by advancing, you don't shoot at anything. And that is something the Americans will have to do as well. And they have a relentless attack during all assault attacks this turn, so not this round, this action turn. Your active squad gains 2 firepower, and possibly combined with a flamethrower that can be terribly devastating, of course. And also, if you don't have a flamethrower, you will still get to assault pretty well. So the Germans, as I said, a little bit about the forces still. I'm not going to go into each squad in detail. I hope you can actually see them like this as well. The Germans have got a mortar over here, a machine gun here, mostly regulars, and here and there they have an elite in Division 1. In Division 2, it's mostly the same story, but they also have a flak 36, so an 88, as it was, I suppose, more commonly called. The Germans also have a couple of entrenchments here on the hill. They're wooded hills, by the way, except for these 3 regular woods, but many of the hills behind, not all of them, as you will be able to see later once the fight gets to that position over there. Some of them are at level 1, some of them are at level 2, and because of that I've used level indicators from Stalingrad for the building indicators, and I've printed some hexes, well, not the tiles, but the images from commandsandcolors.net, which is also where this scenario is going to be posted when it's done. And they're actually wooden hills, and I've cut them and pasted them onto pieces of cardboard, so as to end up with a little bit of more variety in terrain, because one of the things that's always, well, I wouldn't say bothered me about the hills in Tine of Iron, but I've always found it a bit weird that they didn't offer any cover and just some extra range. So, and of course, many hills were actually wooded. So you have this terrain now. So basically they work the same as hills, but you get +2 cover, normally speaking, and unlike regular hills, obviously they block line of sight to one another if they're at the same level. Other than that, it's simply a matter of the blind hex rule, which applies in regular toy as well. The Americans have lots of elites and almost all non-heavy weapon squads, which can't have any specialization, also have some kind of specialization. Division 1 has a medic here. They also have a flamethrower. They have an expert, and they have another medic, and lots of elites, as I said. Division 2 has a medic, an expert, a flamethrower, and another expert. So troop quality-wise, the Americans are obviously much stronger, as they should be. It's an elite formation, but they are outnumbered. And the Flak 36 or the 88 is also very powerful against buildings, because obviously it has a very long range, and it gets +3 firepower against units inside buildings and pillboxes. And that, coupled with its range, makes it potentially very devastating. Okay, so without further ado, let's start playing. The Germans start with the initiative. As you can see, they've already put a number of units in off-fire mode, and now what the German Division 1 was allowed to set up either on map, which one is it, 29B, but not in the American deployment zone. And I believe it was adjacent to one of these buildings, and so that's where they are, most of them, as you can see. So let's get playing. And why did I set up these Americans here, Germans here? Of course, I might have chosen for a different option as well, to push them a little bit further to the back. But what I'm hoping to do is get in a few shots at the American mortars, because I want to prevent them from doubling up. So I'm going to fire at some of the mortars, and this may go wrong every now and then, but I have to remind myself that the Germans cannot combine fire, and that goes for op fire too, of course. So let me start with this unit over here, and it's going to fire at the mortar. So I'm going to fire at this unit, and I should obviously place the fatigue token later. So we have 1 elite and 3 regulars, so that's 5 dice. And the mortar squad in the building has a cover of 3 for the building, 1 for being an elite unit, and there's probably a medic over there as well. So another one for being a medic. And it should also be remembered that mortar squads cannot fire from building hexes. So we have an attack of 5 attack dice against 5 defensive dice as well, all hitting on 5s and 6s. So let's see what happens. We have 2 hits, or 2 potential hits, and 1 save. So we have achieved 1 kill. And that means that the mortar squad obviously loses a regular infantry. So this unit is fatigued now, and its neighbor is going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to once again do a normal attack of 5 against 5. We have 2 hits, but 3 saves. So in this case, nothing happens. And this one is going to do the same as well. Yeah, the exact same numbers. One hit, but 3 saves. So nothing happens. So maybe it would have been a better idea to put these units in up fire, so as to be able to shoot at the Americans advancing. Maybe I should have put them further to the back. But in this case, this is what happened. And in a previous playtest, they did actually take out a full mortar squad by attacking 3 times like this. So you never know what can happen. So let's move on to the American turn. And obviously what they want to do is assault, but first they want to soften up the targets. So let's start with this one. There's nothing this unit can do about it because it's already fatigued, and for all the other units it's basically out of sight or out of range. So let's start with the flamethrower unit, and it does a fire and move. It has 3 elites. It's a firepower of 6. Sorry, this is not a flamethrower. I'm looking for a flamethrower. Here's the flamethrower. It has a firepower of 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 2 for being a flamethrower. So that's 7 dice, and the defending squad does not gain any cover because of the flamethrower, which reduces any amount of cover by 5. So since it would only have 3, that means it's got, well, -2. So obviously no cover, and a fire and move. So 7 dice, and we're doing a suppressive attack because later I want to do an assault, because an assault will prevent off fire from, for example, these 2 German units over here. So fire and move, or move and fire to be precise. And that's 1 hit, but that's okay. I think I should have added, no, that cover of course would be negated too. The elite would provide another cover, but since it's -5, it's still negative. So this squad is pinned. So if it were to be assaulted now, it would only defend at half firepower, but the Americans are not going to assault yet. They are first going to do another fire move, this time with the medic squad, which has 7 firepower. Yeah, 3 elites plus 1 regular, excuse me. So 7 firepower. In this particular case, obviously, because the flamethrower is not participating in the attack, the squad over here does get 3 cover from the building, and also 1 for the elite unit. So let's see what happens now against suppressive fire. Oh, that's looking very good for the Americans. They score, well, yeah, obviously it's from close range. So 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, and only 1 is being saved. Well, that's 3 extra hits to a squad that's already pinned. So it means it's already routed. So no need for an assault. I'm not sure if I'm entirely happy with that, for the reason I already explained. Because now if I want to move in and capture this objective token, opportunity fire will actually be triggered. So I'm not sure if I'm entirely happy with that, but I think I'm going to move forward anyway, because of course, being the Americans, I do have to capture some objective tokens as well. And I'm going to move forward with the medic here, and the medic also has a an officer in it, so it can move 5. So 1, 4, and then it can still shoot. So it's going to do a move and fire. But of course, here it triggers a fire, definitely from the machine gun squad. Well, the machine gun squad can't see it. That was the previous time I play tested, and there was actually a machine gun here. I can't combine fire, so only one German unit can fire at it, and it's going to go for the kill. Will it? Yes, it will. 5 dice at 5s and 6s against 3 for the building, and 1 for being a medic, and 1 for being an elite formation. So let's see what happens. The Germans roll 1 hit, but that one is easily covered by as many as 3 saves. So nothing happens here, and the Americans obviously still get to fire themselves, and they're going to fire suppressively at this unit. 4, 5, 6 divided 7 because of the elite formations, divided by 2, rounded up, means 4 dice. We're going to fire suppressive fire against this German unit here, hoping to pin it as well, and to at the same time get it out of on fire. That unit has 3 cover from the building, and we're going, as I said, for suppressive fire. Yes, we scored 2 hits, a 6 and a 5. So that unit is indeed pinned, and it's on fire mode. It was out of on fire mode, and this American squad is fatigued as well. Well, that finalizes the first action turn for both sides, and it's back to the Germans. Let's see what they can do. I think I might actually fire with the Flak 36, or perhaps with the mortar, but yeah, this unit can actually see something. Is that an option? Mortar is very far away. I don't know if it will reach. It's got range 9 because it's on a higher elevation, so 18 long range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, it actually does reach, and this would be 16. That one is, of course, already fatigued. Don't know if that's the most obvious target to try and hit. The Flak has a range of 5, but because it's on a hill, it gets a range of 6, and it gets 3 extra range if attacking a unit in a building. So that means 9, so also 18 against a squad in a building. So I guess I'm going to fire at this American unit anyway with the Flak 36, with the 88. Which fatigues the 88 after firing, obviously, but not the squad manning it. So what was the firepower again? It was 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. So 7 firepower, but at long range. So hitting only on 6s. So it is a bit of a long shot. And I'm going to use normal fire, so that's because it's already fatigued anyway, so there's not really much point in trying to pin it at this point. So 3 for the building, 1 for the medic, and 1 for being an elite formation squad. The Germans do roll 2 6s, but the Americans roll 2 6s and 2 5s, so that one is easily saved. This one would fire from long range, and I was talking about a German mortar in the back, but of course we have one here that's much closer. Yeah, the problem is I don't see much anymore with a non-fatigued squad. Although this German unit has its line of sight blocked here and here, so on both sides, so it can't see here either. So then basically the only target will be this one, because this one does have line of sight, but it can see through these buildings and can see through here. So I'm going to attack this American squad here with the mortar with suppressive fire. Not so much because it it's a better option in this case, but simply because mortars are much stronger when firing suppressive fire, they roll double the number of dice, in this case 4. So 4 dice for the mortar, hitting on 5s and 6s. The machine gun squad in the building has a cover of 3 for the building, and an additional cover for being an elite formation, so it's 4 against 4. So let's see what happens there. Well, that's 3 hits for the German mortar, 3 5s and 2 5s, so 2 of them are saved, but not the third one, so this unit is actually pinned. That's not too bad. And the Germans have 1 more action, and what are they going to do with that one? I think they will simply put this unit in. Do I want to put that unit in on fire? I might actually do something at the back, because those units are not doing much at the moment, and they're not likely to be doing too much for the time being, other than the flak, which has this incredible range, as we've just seen. I think I will just put this unit over here, consisting of an elite and 3 regulars inside a woods hex with an entrenchment in off fire, and that means that I still have more options with this one. Yeah, that was the 3 German actions again. So it's back to the Americans. They're going to do more or less the same thing they did on the first turn, which is try and rout these units with assaults. And yeah, as we've seen, sometimes they're actually lucky and they don't even need to do that. Let's start with the expert squad. It's going to do a fire and move. Nobody can see it or hit it. That's already fatigued. So that's 4, 5, 6 dice. 7 dice because of the elite formation, and divided by 2 is 3.5, so rounded up 4 dice. And the expert gets to re-roll any dice once for each figure in the squad. But let's first see how they're going to do now. They hit on 4 plus, and the German squad has a defense of 3 for the building, and 1 for the elite, because I'm using suppressive fire. That's 3 hits and 2 saves. So this unit is indeed pinned. We're going to do the same thing again, now with this flamethrower squad, and it's actually very good to use flamethrowers not as the assaulting unit, because any hits taken are always suffered by the assaulting unit, not by any supporting units. Well, unless of course the principal unit has already been destroyed. But it's therefore best not to assault with them, but to use them to soften up the target, and afterwards to support it with half the firepower, which is still fantastic, and it still reduces any cover the defenders may have by -5. So the flamethrower squad, 3, 4, 5 plus 2 is 7, 4 again, and in this case there is no cover because of the -5. That's 3 hits, so it's already pinned. So this one is also routed. So again, here an assault was not necessary in the end. So 2 German squads have already been destroyed for the loss of 1 American figure. So for the time being, they seem to be doing pretty well. Over here, we're going to do a move and fire as well. I'm looking for another flamethrower, but I've already used them both. So let's just use this expert squad to attack this one here with a move and fire. 3, 4, 5, 6 divided by 2 is 3 against 3 cover. But of course, the Americans have the advantage of hitting on a 4 plus because of being close range, being at close range. The Americans score 2 hits, but the Germans also score 2 saves. But since it's an expert squad. Um, let's see, why did I... 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 3. Okay, so I get to re-roll one die. The other two were already hits, so no point in re-rolling them. And if this one turns out to be a hit, it will be enough to disrupt the German unit anyway. And it is a hit because it's a 4. It's a shame you can't see it. I'll try to roll them somewhere else so you can actually see it from now on. So the German unit is indeed pinned. And I do believe that was the third American action, wasn't it? 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So I don't know where I took that one from. Now it's back to the Germans with 3 actions. And as I said before, first I'll just put a couple of units here in the back in op-fire mode. Let's see if I can fire with a mortar anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, it does have more than enough range. A range of 9 for being at a higher elevation. You know what? This is going to be a very long shot, but I'm going to try it anyway. For the German second action, they're going to fire 4 suppressive dice at this hex over here. Again, it's a long shot. 3. Yeah, I guess I'll roll the covers separately. Let's see. First, see if they score any hits at all. No, because they needed 6s for being at long range, and they only scored 1 5. So that was a miss. Let's see, what else can the Germans do? Well, let's also put the unit in the bunker here in op-fire. I could simply fatigue them, and in this particular case, I really don't think it's going to have anything else to do at this during this round, but I just prefer fatiguing a unit to put a unit in op-fire rather than fatiguing it. You never know what can happen in certain situations, and then at least if you're in op-fire, you might be able to still do something, and if you're fatigued by default, you cannot. So that was a quick German turn. So let's go back to the Americans. What else can they do? This unit is also going to... Is it going to assault, or is it going to... It's very important in this scenario to preserve as many American forces as possible, because as you can see, at a certain time they'll have to cross all this open ground, which can be truly deadly despite the speed that they might have because of the double time, and in this particular case also for having drawn the forced march card. So then they can be very quick in covering that distance. But yeah, obviously the Germans will be in op-fire then, probably. I guess I will just fatigue this squad because it's not going to do... Well, yeah, it's not going to do anything because it's pinned. So there we go. Here, let's see. This expert squad is also going to do a move and fire. 3, 4, 5, 6 divided by 3 divided by 2 is 3. Of course, the Germans do still have 3 cover from the building. And suppressive fire again. That's 3 hits for the Germans and 1 save. So this one goes to disrupted, meaning that it won't be able to defend against an assault now because it is disrupted. So this unit, which is a medic, is going to do an assault now. It fires at full firepower. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus 1 for being an elite squad. Plus 2 for each expert squad. And I will have to roll those separately because of the extra dice I'm going to be rolling. So I'll first roll for the experts. Let's see if you can see it this way. Well, that's 2 misses, but I get to re-roll them. Of course, not 4, because I have more figures than dice in this case, but I didn't actually do that right. 3, 4, 5, 6 divided by 2, so I should have rolled another one. that's a miss too, so I get to re-roll all 3 of them for being an expert. And now I do score 1 hit, so I'll just put it over here. The other expert, same thing. I guess it's got the same composition, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So 3 for being in support. That's 1 hit already, and I get to re-roll the other 2. That's 1 more hit, so we have 3 hits so far. And now the main attacking squad, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5. Yeah, let me just take a red one for now. Oh no, that's not going to be necessary. I still have lots of them in here. 6. Did I do that right? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why did I say 6? I don't know. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's right. Full firepower. That's 1, 2, 3 more hits. So in total, they score 6 hits. And the Germans do have cover still for the building. So let's see if they're going to negate any. They negate 2. We have 4 hits left in the assault, but of course the Germans don't get to fire back, so they lose the assault. They're already disrupted. They have to retreat, but if you have to retreat while being disrupted, that means you're automatically destroyed. So another German squad destroyed, and the medic actually gets to advance into the hex and is now fatigued as well, and advancing after an assault does not trigger on fire. So there we go. Let's see. Back to the Germans, of course. 2, 3. Yeah, again, the Germans don't have that much they can actually do. Let's put the crew of the 88 in off fire. Let's put this unit in off fire as well, and that's it for the Germans. They can't play any cards because they don't have any command yet, so the Germans can't do anything else. So the Americans can now just complete their turn and see what else they can do. I guess I'm going to move both mortars in here. I don't know where that one actually came from. Might have been one of the Germans. This mortar moves in here. I could move further, but I wanted to. Yeah, I could actually move further. Why don't I go here, for instance, because these units could potentially fire at me. I guess they're fine here for now. So that was a move, and this one is going to move as well. So the mortars will be able to team up and form a double mortar on the next American round. And then we still have 1 machine gun. And I guess I want to capture this objective point still. So it's going to do a move, 1, 2, 3. And it can do a fire move, so it will have to be a normal one. This one would go through the building. It can't see it. No, so they can't even fire at it. This one is blocked by the building as well. So that concludes the action phase of round 1. So we're going to determine control over objectives. As you can see, the Germans already started with in control of many objectives because they started the game with units on them. They could have made different choices, but they wanted to get those. But the Americans do control their 3 objectives now. This one is neutral, so they can take that one over, and later they can possibly and probably deny the Germans theirs. Receive command and victory points in order of initiative. So the Germans have the initiative, and they get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 command. And the Americans get 3 command. There they go. Yes. Spend command in order of initiative. Now, do the Germans want to keep the initiative? I guess in a way they would want to, although of course they can always put a number of units in op-fire mode. Is there anything better they have to do? I guess they would like to buy the minefield, but it costs 3. It's quite a hefty investment. And they have, well, let's just do that. I will put 1 German command on initiative, and oh yeah, then I have still 1 left. Okay, we'll put 2 on initiative, and for the remaining 3, I will buy the hidden minefield card, which allows me to place a minefield token in a hex that does not contain an enemy unit. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let's see, where am I going to put it? Maybe I should have thought of that before. I did have something in mind, but maybe, well, yeah, then they can just go around it and take the other route here. Maybe this one. This is probably not a bad idea to put it over here, so they will have to go through the buildings, which we'll probably do anyway, but I don't know. Is that the best place to put it? Not entirely sure. Well, for now, no, they will probably look for cover. Can minefield tokens be placed in a building? The card doesn't say that it's not possible. It could be a booby trap, of course. You know, you can look at it like that. I'm going to allow it. I don't know if it's allowed, but the card doesn't say it's not allowed, and I'm going to put it inside this building so that basically the Americans will be forced through, go through the open. And, you know, is it a minefield? I mean, I will just consider it a booby trap building. I think it's thematic, and it's considering the German losses and the American losses so far, it's definitely something they've earned, I would say. That one is for the action phase for the Americans. The forced march would cost 2. I think I want to save that one for when they actually have to cross all that open ground. The other one is an action phase card too. I'm going to put, I don't know if it's really necessary, but I'm going to put 2 command on initiative, and that is going to give me initiative, because when the score is equal, when it comes to initiative, the side that didn't have it gets it. We're going to draw new strategy cards in order of initiative. The Germans want to have, oh, maybe I should have bought that one. I can still buy that one. I'm going to buy the increased priority card from the artillery deck, and what it does is I get to place it in my play area so I don't lose it, and when I activate another artillery card, its cost is reduced by 1 to a minimum of 0, and when establishing contact with an artillery card, add 1 to your die result. That makes it a bit easier to actually establish contact and be able to do something with an attack card, and they get cheaper. What I always do, I put cards at the bottom of my initiative card to show that they're in my play area and that I can actually use them, and they're over here when I still need to buy them. So yeah, that's it. Remove tokens. So we're going to remove this pin token. We're going to remove this pin token. And obviously we're going to remove all the fatigue tokens all over the place. This is not the most interesting part of the game and the video to watch, I suppose. But yeah, it is something that needs to be done. Had there been any disrupted tokens at this moment, they would have been downgraded unless there's an officer in the same hex. In that particular case, it would have been removed as well. fatigue tokens, of course, are always removed. Place units in on fire in order of initiative. The Americans have the initiative. Do they want to put anything in op fire? I don't know. Germans might actually attack. Who knows? Yeah, well, why not? I'll put this American machine gun in op fire. You never know what it's good for. Do the Germans want to put anything in op fire? They definitely do. Machine gun, which was still in op fire, but I'll leave it in op fire. And in this particular case, since the Americans have the initiative, I certainly want to put these units in op fire as well. Of course, the Americans can use their mortars and, well, potentially their artillery, but they don't have any artillery attack cards yet, nor do they have any command to spend on them to use them. Yeah, so this is it for the op fire. We then have any potential squad transfers? Well, do we? Of course we do. We're going to form the double mortar squad, as I said. So that's a very typical unit for Tide of Iron, a double mortar squad, because it means that you get to roll as many as 8 attack dice in suppressive fire attacks and 4 in normal fire attacks. So they're very potent. Yeah, so that's the squad transfer we actually did. Do we want to do any more? Well, even if we did, I don't think we could, because you can never transfer any units between squads with specializations, even if it's the same specialization. And other than that, the Americans haven't suffered any casualties anyway. So the last thing we need to do, well, scenario reinforcements and events, there aren't any, and we advance the round marker, and this concludes round number 1, and I'll see you again when we start playing round number 2. Thank you for watching.